In a small town nestled in the heart of New England, there lived a girl named Emily. She was a bright, young woman with chestnut hair that cascaded in waves down her back and eyes as green as the lush forest that surrounded her home. Emily had always been close to her grandmother, a woman named Evelyn, who had regaled her with tales of their family's history, filled with mystery and intrigue. Evelyn was a formidable presence in Emily's life, with her silver hair, delicate wrinkles, and eyes that seemed to have witnessed a lifetime of secrets. She had lived in the same house for as long as Emily could remember, and the walls of the old Victorian home whispered stories of generations past. Every room was a treasure trove of memories, and Emily would often spend hours listening to her grandmother's stories about their ancestors. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves fell in a flurry of red and gold, Emily received the news she had been dreading. Her beloved grandmother had passed away peacefully in her sleep, leaving a void in Emily's heart that felt impossible to fill. As she stood by the window, gazing out at the vibrant foliage, she knew that her life had irrevocably changed. Emily's parents and close friends offered their condolences, but it was the weight of solitude that weighed heaviest on her. She felt adrift in a sea of sorrow, and the old Victorian house seemed to have lost its luster without Evelyn's stories and laughter filling the rooms. A few weeks after the funeral, Emily's parents encouraged her to go through her grandmother's belongings. "It might help you find closure," her mother suggested, and Emily reluctantly agreed. She knew that the task would be emotionally taxing, but she was also curious to learn more about her family's history. After all, her grandmother had often hinted at a trove of family secrets hidden away somewhere in the house. As Emily started to sort through Evelyn's belongings, she stumbled upon a stack of old letters tied together with a faded ribbon. Intrigued, she opened the first one, revealing her grandmother's elegant cursive handwriting. It was a letter addressed to someone named Victoria, a name Emily had never heard before. The letter spoke of a long-lost sibling, a brother named James, whom Emily had never heard of. Emily's heart raced as she continued reading. The letter alluded to a family rift that had never healed, secrets that had been kept buried for years, and the pain Evelyn had carried for a lifetime. With trembling hands, Emily continued to read more letters, piecing together a complex family history that she had never known existed. The letters spoke of her great-grandparents, Arthur and Eleanor, who had been deeply in love but had faced insurmountable challenges. They had been torn apart by a scandal that had rocked the family, and Emily's grandmother had borne the burden of their secrets. Emily was overcome with a mixture of emotions, shock, confusion, and a deep sense of injustice. How had her family kept these secrets hidden for so long? She felt betrayed, not only by her ancestors, but also by her beloved grandmother, who had chosen to keep the truth from her. Over the following weeks, Emily delved deeper into the letters, slowly uncovering the complex web of lies, betrayals, and hidden truths that had defined her family for generations. She discovered that her great-grandfather Arthur had been falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit, a crime that had torn him away from the love of his life, Eleanor. The letters revealed that Emily's great-uncle James, the long-lost sibling, had been born in secret and raised by a different family, unaware of his true heritage. Emily's quest for the truth took her on a journey through dusty archives, old photographs, and conversations with distant relatives who held fragments of the family's history. As she uncovered the layers of deceit and uncovered forgotten stories, Emily realized that her grandmother, Evelyn, had carried the weight of these secrets out of a misguided sense of protecting her family's honor. One rainy afternoon, as Emily sat in the dimly lit attic, poring over yellowed letters and fading photographs, she heard the creak of footsteps on the wooden stairs. Startled, she looked up to find her father standing in the doorway, concern etched on his face. "I've been watching you, Emily," he said softly. "I know this has been hard on you, but you need to understand that your grandmother did what she thought was best at the time. She was trying to protect the family from shame and pain." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "Dad, I know she meant well, but the secrets tore our family apart. James deserved to know the truth, and so did we. I need to find him." Her father nodded, his eyes filled with understanding. "I think your grandmother wanted you to uncover these secrets, to bring the family back together. We've been looking for James for years, but without success. I believe it's time for a fresh start to mend the broken bonds." With her father's support, Emily embarked on a journey to find her long-lost great-uncle, James. She used the information in the letters to trace his possible whereabouts and reached out to genealogists, researchers, and social media platforms, hoping to find any lead that could bring James into their lives. As weeks turned into months, Emily's determination never wavered. She and her father traveled to different towns and cities, following every lead, no matter how faint. It was during one of their trips that Emily received a message on a genealogy website. It was from a man named William, who claimed to be James's son. He had been searching for his father for years, not knowing he had a family who had been searching for him as well. The day they finally met James and William was a moment of profound joy and relief. They discovered that James had been living a simple life in a small town, unaware of his true heritage. Emily, her father, and James embraced, tears of happiness streaming down their faces. The years of separation melted away, and they were reunited as a family. Sitting in a cozy living room, Emily, James, and William shared their stories and experiences. They talked about the pain of not knowing their family and the impact of hidden truths. Emily shared the letters and the history she had uncovered, shedding light on the family's past and the misunderstandings that had led to their separation. James and William forgave their family for the years of secrecy, understanding that Emily and her father had acted out of love and a desire to mend the family bonds. The healing process was not instantaneous, but it marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. As the seasons changed, the family began to rebuild the connections that had been severed for so long. Emily, James, and William embraced their shared heritage, learning about their great-grandparents' love story and the struggles they had faced. The family worked together to ensure that such painful secrets would never be kept hidden again. Emily's house once again rang with laughter and stories, but this time, they were shared openly and honestly. The family's history was no longer a source of shame, but a testament to the strength of their bonds. The old Victorian house, once a repository of secrets, became a symbol of their renewed unity. The importance of understanding one's roots had never been clearer to Emily. She realized that the past held valuable lessons in that family secrets could have far-reaching consequences. She had learned that forgiveness was a powerful tool for healing, mending broken relationships, and rebuilding what had been lost. The family's journey towards reconciliation had not been without its challenges, but it was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Emily, James, and William were grateful for the opportunity to know each other and their shared history. They vowed to cherish their newfound family ties, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. In the end, their story served as a reminder of the enduring power of love, forgiveness, and the importance of facing one's past. As Emily looked out at the same autumn foliage that had witnessed the beginning of her journey, she knew that she had uncovered not just a family's hidden secrets, but also the strength to overcome them, reaffirming the bonds that truly mattered in life. Emily continued to spend hours with James and William, unraveling the tangled threads of their family's history. The more they delved into the old letters and records, the more complexities they uncovered. It was evident that the family rift had left deep scars, and healing would take time. One evening, as they sifted through a box of photographs, Emily came across a faded picture of her great-grandparents, Arthur and Eleanor. In the photograph, they were holding hands and gazing into each other's eyes, their love evident in their smiles. "This is a beautiful picture," Emily said, her voice filled with emotion. "They look so happy together." James sighed and nodded. They were deeply in love, but their love story was marred by misunderstandings and false accusations. It's heartbreaking to think of all the years they lost. William, who had grown up knowing nothing of his true family, added, "It's strange to see a picture of my grandparents for the first time. I wish I had known them." Emily's father, who had been silently listening, spoke up. "We all wish we had known them. But the important thing is that we're together now, and we can honor their memory by rebuilding our family." Over the coming weeks, Emily, James, and William became closer, building a sense of connection that had been missing for so long. They shared stories about their lives, their interests, and their dreams. Emily was amazed at the similarities she discovered between her and her newfound relatives. They all loved gardening, had a penchant for classic literature, and shared a passion for cooking. The process of forgiveness was not without its challenges. There were moments of anger and frustration as the family members grappled with the consequences of the hidden truths. James had spent his life feeling like an outsider, while Emily and her father struggled with guilt over the pain they had unknowingly caused. One evening, as they sat in the living room, Emily asked the question that had been weighing on her mind. "James, how can you forgive us for keeping your existence a secret all these years?" James looked at her with a mixture of sadness and understanding. "I spent my life feeling abandoned and not knowing where I came from. Finding you and my family has brought me more happiness than I can express. I believe my parents did what they thought was best at the time, just like your grandmother did. Forgiveness is the only way we can move forward." William chimed in. "My father is right. Holding on to anger and blame won't change the past. We have a chance now to create new memories and build a stronger family." Over time, forgiveness became a cornerstone of their relationship. They learned to accept the past, understanding that their ancestors had made choices based on their circumstances. The family bond grew stronger, and their shared journey of reconciliation brought them closer together. As the family delved deeper into their history, they discovered more about Arthur and Eleanor's love story. They had been separated by a false accusation of theft, which had led to Arthur's imprisonment and Eleanor's marriage to another man. Emily and James couldn't help but feel a deep sense of injustice for their great-grandparents. They decided to investigate further, seeking evidence to clear Arthur's name. The task was not easy, as many records had been lost over the years. However, they were determined to uncover the truth. In their quest for justice, they reached out to local historians and genealogists who helped them access old documents and archives. With their combined efforts, they managed to find a piece of evidence that could exonerate Arthur. Emily, James, and William presented their findings to a local historian named Sarah, who had a reputation for uncovering long-forgotten truths. Sarah reviewed the evidence and became deeply engrossed in the story of Arthur and Eleanor. "This is a remarkable discovery," Sarah said with enthusiasm. "It's clear that Arthur was wrongly accused. With this new evidence, we can work to clear his name and restore his place in our town's history." With Sarah's help, they embarked on a quest for redemption. They reached out to local authorities and presented their findings, urging them to reevaluate Arthur's case. The process was slow and bureaucratic, but the family was determined to right the wrongs of the past. Months passed as they navigated the complexities of the legal system. The process was frustrating, but their determination never waned. Finally, they received news that the authorities had posthumously cleared Arthur's name, acknowledging the injustice he had suffered. The family celebrated this bittersweet victory, knowing that they had brought justice to their ancestors. Emily, James, and William felt a deep sense of fulfillment, as if they had righted a historical wrong and paid tribute to their great-grandparents' enduring love. The news of Arthur's exoneration made headlines in the local newspaper, and the community rallied behind the family, acknowledging the importance of uncovering hidden truths and seeking justice. As the family sat in their living room, looking at the newspaper clippings, Emily said, "Our journey has been a complex one, filled with pain, secrets, and redemption. But through it all, we've learned the importance of understanding our roots, the power of forgiveness, and the healing force of redemption." James nodded in agreement, and William added, "Our family story is now a symbol of resilience and the ability to overcome the weight of the past." Their complex journey had not only brought them closer as a family, but had also helped heal the wounds of generations gone by. With the weight of hidden truths finally lifted, they were ready to embrace a new chapter of their lives, one filled with love, forgiveness, and a deep appreciation for their shared family legacy. With the weight of their family's secrets finally lifted, Emily, James, and William decided it was time to organize a family reunion. They reached out to distant relatives, cousins, and extended family members they had never met. The prospect of reuniting with long-lost relatives was both exciting and nerve-wracking. The day of the reunion arrived, and the old Victorian house was filled with laughter, chatter, and the joy of newfound connections. Cousins who had never known each other shared stories, while aunts and uncles exchanged anecdotes about their shared heritage. Amidst the festivities, Emily approached her cousin Anna, who had always been a bit of a family historian. "Anna, do you know if there are more letters or documents hidden away that might shed more light on our family's history?" Anna, with her striking red hair and a warm smile, nodded thoughtfully. "There's a rumor that our great-great-grandmother kept a diary. It's said to be hidden somewhere in this house, but no one has been able to find it. Maybe now's the time to dig a little deeper." The idea of discovering their great-great-grandmother's diary piqued Emily's curiosity. She gathered a group of relatives, including Anna, and embarked on a treasure hunt within the old house. they scoured the attic, the basement, and hidden corners, seeking the elusive diary that might hold even more secrets. After hours of searching, as the sun began to set, Emily's group finally stumbled upon a hidden compartment beneath a loose floorboard in the attic. Inside, they found a dusty old leather-bound diary, its pages filled with the delicate handwriting of Eleanor, Emily and James' great-great-grandmother. With bated breath, Emily opened the diary and began to read aloud, recounting the life of Eleanor and her enduring love for Arthur. The diary unveiled the depth of Eleanor's heartache, her longing for Arthur during the years they were apart, and the strength she had drawn from their love. As Emily read on, the family members gathered around, engrossed in Eleanor's story. The diary revealed secrets that had never been spoken of, including the true identity of the person who had accused Arthur of theft and the circumstances that had led to his arrest. The discovery of Eleanor's diary brought new revelations, but it also stirred up more questions. The family learned that the false accusation against Arthur had been orchestrated by a close family friend, Nathaniel, who had been jealous of Arthur and Eleanor's love. Determined to uncover the full truth, Emily, James, and their relatives delved into records, archives, and the town's historical society. They were able to track down documents that exposed Nathaniel's motives and the conspiracy that had led to Arthur's unjust imprisonment. With the evidence in hand, they confronted Nathaniel's descendants, who were shocked to learn the extent of their ancestors' deceit. Although Nathaniel had long passed away, his descendants expressed their deep remorse for the wrongs he had committed. With the family's past secrets finally revealed and Arthur's name cleared, Emily, James, and their relatives decided to honor their ancestors in a meaningful way. They organized a memorial ceremony for Arthur and Eleanor, inviting the entire community to pay their respects and acknowledge the injustice that had been done to their family. The ceremony took place in the local cemetery, where Arthur and Eleanor were buried side by side. Emily, James, and William, along with other family members, spoke about the resilience of their great-grandparents' love and the importance of acknowledging the past. The event was marked by heartfelt speeches, tears, and the laying of flowers on their graves. The family's journey had come full circle. The old Victorian house that had held so many secrets was now a place of love, connection, and healing. Emily, James, and William had embraced their family legacy, understanding that their past, while complicated, was an essential part of who they were. As the years passed, they continued to organize family gatherings, celebrating their shared history and creating new memories. Emily, who had once felt adrift in sorrow, now felt rooted in her family's legacy. The old letters, Eleanor's diary, and the stories of Arthur and Eleanor had become a source of inspiration, reminding them of the strength of love, the power of forgiveness, and the importance of understanding one's roots. In the end, their intricate and complex journey had brought them closer as a family and had allowed them to find closure, justice, and a sense of belonging. They had learned that even in the face of hidden truths and buried secrets, the bonds of family could endure and flourish, proving that the human spirit was capable of overcoming the most challenging obstacles life could throw their way. Despite the family's efforts to uncover their hidden truths, there was one mystery that remained elusive. Among the old letters and documents, there were references to a lost family heirloom, a valuable antique that had been passed down for generations but had disappeared without a trace. As Emily, James, and their relatives delved deeper into their family's history, the search for the lost heirloom became an obsession. The missing antique, believed to hold a significant clue to the family's secrets, became a symbol of their quest for completeness. The family members embarked on a meticulous search, scouring the attic, basement, and any other potential hiding places in the house. They also reached out to antique experts and historians to seek any leads. The hunt for the missing heirloom added a layer of complexity to their journey, as it seemed to be linked to the final, most deeply buried secrets of their ancestors. One evening, as Emily was going through her great-great-grandmother's diary, she noticed a peculiar entry that spoke of a hidden chamber in the house. Eleanor had mentioned the chamber as a place of refuge, where she and Arthur would occasionally retreat to share their most intimate moments. Determined to find the chamber, Emily enlisted the help of her relatives and began searching the house with a newfound vigor. It was said to be concealed behind a concealed panel in the attic. After hours of meticulous searching, they finally stumbled upon the entrance. The chamber was a small, dimly lit space filled with old trinkets, photographs, and a chest of belongings that had been untouched for decades. As they began to explore the contents, they found an old, weathered map, a key, and a letter addressed to Eleanor. The letter, written by a close friend of Eleanor, revealed that Arthur had hidden the missing heirloom before his arrest. In his last moments of freedom, he had entrusted the secret to Eleanor's friend, who had promised to return it to their family when the time was right. The map indicated a location outside of town where the heirloom had been concealed. Determined to retrieve the missing piece of their family's history, Emily, James, and their relatives set out on a journey to find it. The search led them to a remote forest where they followed the map's directions. After hours of searching, they uncovered a concealed box buried beneath the roots of an old oak tree. Inside, they found the long-lost family heirloom, a stunning antique pocket watch that had belonged to their great-grandfather, Arthur. As they held the heirloom in their hands, they realized that the pocket watch contained a hidden compartment. Inside, they found a collection of letters, photographs, and a confession from the family friend who had hidden it. The confession revealed the extent of the conspiracy that had led to Arthur's imprisonment. With the newfound evidence, the family reached out to historians, legal experts, and the local authorities to clear Arthur's name once and for all. The injustice that had plagued their family for generations was finally rectified. The exoneration of Arthur brought a sense of closure that the family had yearned for. The community rallied behind them, acknowledging the importance of seeking justice and uncovering hidden truths. A grand reunion was organized to celebrate the family's redemption, and all of their relatives, neighbors, and friends were invited. The event was a remarkable testament to the family's resilience and the power of truth and forgiveness. The family members shared their complex journey, from the hidden secrets to the lost heirloom, and the ultimate exoneration of their great-grandfather. As the years passed, the old Victorian house became a place of unity and healing, and the family's history was no longer defined by the weight of hidden secrets. The family continued to grow, with new generations born into a legacy of love, understanding, and acceptance. Emily, James, and William saw their family's complex journey as a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. They had learned the importance of understanding one's roots, the consequences of hidden truths, and the power of forgiveness. Their intricate and complex journey had brought them closer as a family and had allowed them to find closure, justice, and a profound sense of belonging. With the past finally laid to rest, the family embraced a bright future, cherishing their shared history and looking forward to creating new memories together. The old Victorian house, once a repository of secrets and mysteries, was now a place of love, unity, and hope for generations to come.